Yes, Congressman Jamal Finkley, Black Tree TV. I'm right here. Hey. Okay. I wanted to ask two questions. One, I wanted to know, I hear Nancy Pelosi say that, you know, she wasn't all for impeachment. I wanted to know, like, what do you say to the American people who's seen the investigation go on for 2 years and we get a 4-page summary of a 300-page report? How do we trust our government if there's no transparency and things like that? And secondly, I wanted to ask your opinion on the Electoral College. Some candidates have brought up that they wanted to get rid of the Electoral College and start a new process, and what is your feelings on that?
Well, on the first question, let me just say that nothing comes easy. And we sometimes have to struggle and fight and make sacrifices in order to get at the truth or to change things from the way that they are. I worked on helping to free Nelson Mandela from prison and to dismantle apartheid, I think for about 9 years when I was in the California State Assembly. I sent out press releases to my colleagues every day. I looked for information to help educate them about what was apartheid and what was going on in South Africa. And of course, we had a lot of resistance from the apartheid government and from others. But I did not stop, and the movement grew. And young people on campuses got involved. And so we divested our funds, the pension funds, from businesses that were doing business in South Africa. We put pressure on them. And we finally got Nelson Mandela released from jail. We opened up opportunities for the ANC, and he became president of South Africa. It was a lot of work, it was a struggle, but we stayed with it and we won. So I say all of that to say this. This president has defined himself. This president has defined himself as a liar. He has committed over 8,000 lies in 2 years. Not only has he defined himself, he has shown us in so many ways, including his choosing of Manafort to come and run his campaign. Manafort, who had been working with Putin and the Kremlin as they tried to exercise more power in the Ukraine. And they did that for a reason. And if you listen to everything, you will find out that that reason was Putin and the Kremlin wanted the sanctions lifted so that they could drill for oil in the Arctic and on and on and on. And so, no matter what this report is thus far, we have seen enough. We have seen right before our very eyes the obstruction of justice in so many ways. It's not only the firing of Comey, but it is the fact that he sat on the airplane and he wrote a memorandum about the meeting that took place at Trump Towers, where they had organized this meeting to talk about how they could undermine Hillary Clinton. But he wrote the memo, he told a lie, and said it was about another issue altogether, having to do with adoptions of children, et cetera, et cetera. And so, this is what I'm saying. No matter what has been revealed thus far, and it's only 4 pages of what appears to be a report of about maybe somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 pages, we cannot somehow be so disgusted that looking at what has been released that we think we have lost. We haven't lost. We haven't seen the whole report. We don't know what the other evidence is. And beside that, the Congress of the United States of America has a responsibility for oversight and investigation. And for those of us sitting on the six committees that have the responsibility for oversight and investigation, we are going to continue. In my committee, the Financial Services Committee, I have the responsibility to know if the sanctions are being applied, if they're being followed, if the treasurer, Mr. Mnuchin, is doing his job. And so my committee, in addition to everything else we do, we're going to be looking at what is happening with the sanctions and money laundering. Money laundering is a key issue, I believe, in all of these investigations. And don't forget, there are a number of investigations going on up in the Southern District of New York and in New York about financial affairs, about the foundation, and it ain't over until it's over, and it's not over yet. And for those of us who believe that it is in the best interest of this country not to have a president who is dangerous, who is unpredictable, and who has alienated all of our allies, and I, as you know, have said I believe he needs to be impeached. But we're going to continue our work, and I'm not at all so discouraged and disgusted that I'm going to walk away. And as for the Electoral College, yes, I know Elizabeth Warren has come out with a discussion about the Electoral College. And I know a lot of people, in particular our young people, are wondering, how can you have a popular vote and not win? Because they don't quite know why the framers of the Constitution formed this Electoral College. Many, they would like to say, some would like to say, it's about giving the little towns power and not being overrun by the large jurisdictions, the large cities and the states. Some others believe, and perhaps it can be documented, that it was about the rich and the powerful, not allowing what would be described as the pitchforkers to somehow have the kind of power that they could win and rule the country in a way that the rich and the powerful did not agree with. And so the Electoral College is a problem. Getting rid of it is a big problem. It is difficult. You've got to amend the Constitution. And so I think it's worthy of a discussion. I think it's worthy of wanting to get to a point in this country where we have a popular vote that wins, and I am very, very pleased to be a part of that discussion.